Welcome to Trending Update USA, I'm Steffan, and tonight we turn our focus once again to Melbourne, where Coco Gauff's Australian Open journey continues to gather momentum, confidence, and significance, as the young American star rallied with composure and grit to reach the round of 16 for the fourth straight year, reinforcing her status as one of the most consistent performers of her generation on the sport's biggest stages. Under the blazing lights and relentless intensity of Rod Laver Arena, Gauff was pushed into uncomfortable territory early, challenged not only by her opponent's shot-making but by the weight of expectation that follows her into every Grand Slam appearance. Yet what unfolded over the course of the match was not simply a victory on the scoreboard, but a compelling illustration of how far Gauff has evolved as a competitor, thinker, and leader on court. From the opening games, it was clear this would not be a routine afternoon for the reigning U.S. Open champion. Gauff entered the match with confidence but not complacency, aware that early round momentum means little without sustained execution. Her opponent came out swinging freely, testing Gauff's movement, probing her forehand, and forcing her to defend deeper than she prefers. For a stretch, Gauff appeared unsettled, her timing fractionally late, her service games requiring extra effort to navigate. The Australian Open has a way of exposing even the smallest vulnerabilities, and for several games, Gauff was forced to absorb pressure rather than dictate play. Yet what separates today's Gauff from the teenager who first burst onto the scene is her refusal to panic. There was no rush to overhit, no visible frustration, only steady recalibration point by point. As the set progressed, Gauff began to assert herself with subtle adjustments. She increased the margin over the net, added more shape to her ground strokes, and targeted higher percentage patterns that allowed her to regain control of rallies. Her footwork sharpened, her anticipation improved, and suddenly the court began to feel smaller for her opponent. Gauff's serve, which had been tested early, found rhythm and reliability, helping her escape tight moments and build confidence. Each hold of serve brought a little more clarity, a little more freedom, and the momentum gradually shifted. The crowd sensed it, responding to her defensive brilliance, her explosive backhand winners, and her growing authority between points. By the time Gauff secured the opening set, the tone of the match had changed entirely. What had begun as a contest filled with uncertainty transformed into a demonstration of resilience and control. Gauff's body language told the story of a player settling into her identity, one who understands that Grand Slam matches are rarely linear, and that adversity is not a warning sign but an invitation to compete harder. In the second set, her confidence became more evident. She stepped inside the baseline on returns, applied pressure early in rallies, and forced errors through consistency rather than sheer force. The rallies lengthened, the physical toll increased, and Gauff's superior conditioning and patience began to shine. This ability to raise her level without chasing perfection has become a defining trait of Gauff's recent success. She no longer seeks dominance through raw aggression alone, instead blending defense, counterpunching, and selective offense into a balanced approach that adapts to different opponents and conditions. Her backhand, long considered one of the best in the game, continued to anchor her performance, neutralizing pace and redirecting angles with precision. Her forehand, once scrutinized as a potential weakness, held up under pressure, producing depth and reliability when it mattered most. These technical improvements, combined with a calmer mental approach, have turned Gauff into one of the most difficult players to break down over the course of a match. Reaching the Australian Open round of 16 for the fourth consecutive year places Gauff in rare company for someone so young. Consistency at a Grand Slam, particularly one as physically demanding as Melbourne, is a measure of true elite status. The heat, the travel, the intensity of early season tennis, and the unpredictability of opponents all combine to test even the most experienced players. For Gauff to navigate these challenges year after year speaks to her professionalism, preparation, and competitive maturity. Each appearance in the second week adds to her understanding of what it takes to contend, not just occasionally, but repeatedly. As attention now turns to her upcoming matchup with Karolina Muchova, the narrative surrounding Gauff's campaign grows even more compelling. Machova represents a completely different kind of challenge, one built on variety, touch, and tactical nuance rather than pure power. Known for her ability to disrupt rhythm with slices, drop shots, and net approaches, Muchova forces opponents to think creatively and remain disciplined. For Gauff, this matchup is more than just another round, it is a test of her adaptability and patience. Against a player who thrives on change of pace and court positioning, Gauff will need to balance aggression with restraint, choosing her moments carefully while maintaining depth and consistency. Their contrasting styles promise a fascinating encounter. Gauff's athleticism, speed, and defensive skills will be tested by Muchova's ability to construct points and draw opponents out of position. At the same time, Gauff's improved serve and return games could play a decisive role, allowing her to seize control of key moments and prevent Muchova from settling into her preferred patterns. The mental battle will be just as important as the physical one, with momentum swings likely and margins razor-thin. For Gauff, matches like this are essential stepping stones, opportunities to refine her game against players who challenge her in unconventional ways. Beyond the immediate matchup, Gauff's run at this Australian Open reflects a broader evolution within women's tennis. The depth of talent on tour continues to grow, with young stars and experienced campaigners pushing each other to new levels of performance. In this environment, consistency becomes as valuable as brilliance, and adaptability often determines success more than raw power. Gauff's ability to navigate different styles, conditions, and pressures positions her well not only for this tournament but for the seasons ahead. Each match adds another layer of experience, another lesson learned under the most intense scrutiny. What also stands out in Gauff's Melbourne performances is her composure off the ball. Between points, she moves with purpose, communicates clearly with her team, and maintains a focused demeanor that reflects confidence rather than tension. This mental steadiness has become a hallmark of her recent success, allowing her to stay present regardless of scoreline. In a sport where momentum can shift in an instant, this ability to reset and refocus is invaluable. It is a trait shared by champions, developed through experience, and reinforced by belief. As the Australian Open progresses, expectations around Gauff will naturally intensify. Fans, analysts, and rivals alike recognize her as a legitimate contender, capable of going deep into the tournament and challenging for the title. Yet Gauff herself has consistently emphasized a process-oriented mindset, focusing on daily improvement rather than external noise. This approach, grounded in preparation and self-awareness, has helped her manage the pressures that come with early success. By embracing challenges rather than fearing them, she continues to grow into the role of a leader on tour. The significance of reaching the round of 16 once again should not be underestimated. Each second-week appearance reinforces Gauff's presence among the elite and builds momentum that can carry through the season. For American tennis, her consistency provides a sense of continuity and optimism, a reminder that the future is not something to wait for but something already unfolding. For the global audience, Gauff's journey represents the evolving face of the sport, where youth and experience intersect, and where resilience often proves as decisive as talent. As she prepares for the next test against Machova, Gauff carries with her not just the confidence of victory, but the knowledge gained from navigating adversity. She has shown she can adjust mid-match, respond to pressure, and impose her game when it matters most. These qualities will be essential as the draw tightens and the competition intensifies. Every round brings new challenges, new narratives, and new opportunities to define a career. Here in Melbourne, under the unforgiving sun and electric atmosphere of the Australian Open, Coco Gauff continues to write her story with determination and poise. Her fourth straight trip to the round of 16 is not a coincidence. It is the result of years of hard work, learning, and growth. As the tournament moves forward, all eyes will be on how she responds to the next challenge, how she adapts to the next opponent, and how she handles the rising stakes. One thing is clear, Coco Gauff is no longer just a promising talent, she is a proven contender, and her journey through this Australian Open is far from over. Stay with Trending Update USA as we continue to follow every development from Melbourne, bringing you the stories, the moments, and the performances that define this Grand Slam, because with players like Coco Gauff leading the way, the future of women's tennis continues to shine brighter with every match played.